Pilates. In today's video, I'm going to give you a quick intro to what Pilates is, and I'm also going to teach you some of the basic principles to incorporate whenever you're practicing Pilates, whether it's at the gym or at home or by just watching a YouTube video. These principles will help you to get the full benefits of Pilates and also prevent any injuries from happening. So, if you are new to Pilates, I recommend that you watch this video. So with Pilates, we focus on the balance between flexibility and strengthening. We usually focus on strengthening all those inner muscles that's connected to your joints and to your spine, so that you will strengthen your muscles, so that your muscles is able to carry your entire body. With that, you will prevent future injuries from happening. Someone, for instance, with lower back pain or neck pain will usually be beneficial from Pilates, and you will also improve your posture. And then joints and muscles that are too tight, we will mobilize those joints or stretch those muscles so that you can move more effortless during the day and also move more pain-free. Unlike yoga, Pilates has no spiritual connection to it. It's purely just a physical practice, but like yoga, we also make use of breath to assist us in the movement. I'm going to teach you 5 basic principles to help with body awareness and alignment while doing your Pilates exercise. These 5 principles are all connected and all working together, but I'm going to teach them to you each individually. And once you understand it and grasp it, you will notice how each of these principles are incorporated to get the right alignment and posture while doing your exercise. So, first principle is breathing. So a lot of us breathe really shallow and through our chest like this. We do not want to breathe like that because we're not filling our lungs with enough fresh air, and we're also causing tension in our neck and our shoulders. So what we're trying to do is to really fill those lungs with air, with fresh air, as we inhale to the base of our lungs. So we want to expand our ribcage as we inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to draw that ribcage back together again and also activating our abdominal muscles. So let's just start first by breathing in through our nose and breathing out through pursed lips. So breathing in through the nose as if you're just like sniffing on a flower or perfume. So inhale and exhale. So the exhalation, you will notice, is slightly more forced, and it's through pursed lips as if you're just like pronouncing a letter F, or you're just blowing out some candles on a birthday cake. So inhalation and exhale. Now, take your hands, hold onto your ribcage and hug those hands into your ribcage. As you inhale, I really want you to focus on expanding that ribcage. So we want to expand the ribcage to the sides, to the front and the back. So a 3-dimensional breathing. So inhale, expand your ribcage. Now, as you exhale, I want you to focus on drawing that ribcage back together again by drawing your navel to your spine. So inhale, broadening the ribcage, and exhale, engaging your core here as you draw your navel to your spine. With that said, you will also notice that you're activating your pelvic floor muscles. So it will feel almost, as you exhale, it will feel like an internal lift here by your pelvic floor muscles. I always say, imagine you need to step into a bucket of ice cold water, and it's as if you're just like pulling up those pelvic floor muscles, same like you will do when you step into that cold bucket of ice water. So that's on the exhalation. Now, on the inhalation, through the nose, expand your ribcage. Exhalation, pressing that air out through pursed lips, drawing the ribcage together and drawing your navel towards your spine, and at the same time activating your pelvic floor muscles. I know this sounds crazy, you might not get this right at the first time, but just keep on practicing that, because the breath will really help you to assist you in movements, and we will usually use the exhalation whenever we are doing the action of the movement. So let's just take a few breaths together. So holding onto your ribcage just to feel as you expand the ribcage and bring it back together again. So holding onto your ribcage, inhale, expand that ribcage, inhaling through the nose. And then exhale, drawing the navel to your spine and activating those pelvic floor muscles. So let's just inhale again, expand the ribcage, filling the lungs with air, and then exhale through pursed lips, drawing your navel in towards your spine, bring the ribcage together and activating the pelvic floor muscles. Let's just do 3 breaths like that. Just on your own, you can practice on your own or you can follow me. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So to explain the correct placement of your pelvis, I will show you the difference between an imprinted spine versus a neutral spine. So lying on your back, you can keep your knees flexed. You can have your hands right next to your side. I'm just going to extend my hands to the ceiling to show you the section of my lower spine. So a lot of us might have an arch in our lower back, in our lumbar region. So this might cause issues, especially when we start adding our legs or have to extend our legs, because we will then overarch our lower spine, which will really hurt the lower spine with time. So to prevent this from happening, we want to be in neutral spine or imprinted spine. So let's just rock our pelvis forwards and backwards. Just a slight rocking of the pelvis, like a boat rocking on the sea, forwards and backwards. And then let's take our index fingers and our thumbs and recreate a triangle with this, and we place the index fingers on our pelvic bone and our palms on our hip bones. And imagine this triangle as a tray and you're trying to balance a glass of water on this tray. So finding that place where you can keep that glass of water completely still and level. The water is not spilling with a single drop to the side or to the front or the back. That is your neutral spine. So there might be still a small pocket of air between your lower spine and the mat, so you might be able to maybe just slide an envelope underneath your spine. That's your neutral spine. Alright, now eventually we will try to do everything in neutral spine, but if you are new to Pilates, it's very important to rather be in an imprinted spine, just to create extra support for the lower back. So what is an imprinted spine? Coming back to the tray with the glass of water, imagine you want that glass of water just to spill slightly, just a few drops on your belly button. So you are tilting your pelvis slightly towards your ribcage, and then that will be imprinted spine. You are also elongating your lower spine so that the lower spine is pressing completely into the mat. Another way to test your imprinted spine is if you hold on to your hip bones with the index fingers and your lowest rib with your thumbs, and you want to shorten the distance between that hip bone and the rib cage. That's also an imprinted spine. So sinking that rib cage towards your hips, imprinted spine. So once we go into tabletop position with our legs, or we want to extend our legs to the ceiling, it's very important to stay in the imprinted spine, because then you will have support and that lower back will not arch as you extend your legs. Right, so imprinted spine, lower spine completely pressing into the mat. Neutral spine is when that glass of water can just balance on your pelvis, and then we don't want to have an arch in our lower spine, because that will hurt your lower back. So rather go into imprinted spine if you are a beginner, or if you are already more advanced, you can just go into neutral spine. So that brings us to our third principle, ribcage placement. So a lot of times we tend to bulge the ribcage, And once again, we are arching our spine, and that might cause injuries with time. So to prevent that from happening, we really want to try to sink that ribcage in towards our hips. So once again, shortening the distance between your hip bone and your ribcage. So inhale, prepare, and exhale. Sink that ribcage in. Once again, we are going into imprinted spine, engaging the abdominals. So let's just take our hands. We inhale and we raise our hands above our head. And then as you exhale, really try to sink that ribcage in towards your hips without bulging, making it bulge. And then another thing, when we go into pelvic curl, so lifting with your pubic bone all the way to the ceiling. A lot of us know this movement as the bridge or the pelvic curl. Then we can also sometimes tend to bulge our ribcage. We don't want that because we are once again arching our back. That might cause injuries with time. So sink that ribcage in towards your hips, shortening the distance between your hips and the ribcage. Your core is engaged here, and you're also supporting your spine here. So ribcage placement, sink that ribcage in towards your hips. So that brings us to our fourth principle, which is shoulder stabilization. So reaching your hands to the ceiling, you keep the distance between your hands the same. And let's pull our hands towards the ceiling. So this is called protraction. Shoulder blades are sliding away from your body. And then let's slide those shoulder blades back down into the mat. This is called retraction. So protraction, shoulder blades pressing away from your body, and retraction, shoulder blades pressing back together at the back. So we want to find somewhere in between protraction and retraction, and that will be the correct stabilization of your scapula. So I'll just show this while I'm sitting with my back to you. So protraction, shoulder blades reaching away from your body, and then retraction, pressing those shoulder blades back together at the back. So protraction and retraction. And we want to find somewhere in between, just to stabilize the scapula. So somewhere in between protraction and retraction will be your shoulder placement. And another very important thing is we don't want to elevate the shoulders too much, because that will cause tension in the neck and the shoulders again. And we also just want to don't depress too much. So this is elevation, and this is depression of the shoulders. And we once again want to find somewhere in between. So I always say, sliding the shoulder blades back and down. So shoulder blades back and down, opening up your collarbone and your chest, and then you are stabilizing your shoulders. And that brings us to our fifth and final principle, which is head and neck alignment. So we always want to keep our head and neck in line with our spine. So we're always completing the curvature of our spine with our head and neck. So just to show you, if you sit up straight, you always want your forehead and your chin to be in line. You don't want to nod your chin too much, causing tension here in your neck. And you also don't want to tilt your chin too much, causing tension here in your cervical spine. So I'm just going to show that line down. As you lie down, you want to keep the chin and the head in line with one another in one straight line. So some of you might need even a pillow just to lift that head a little bit, especially if you have a forward head posture. Whatever feels good for you to elongate that cervical spine here at the back so that your chin and your head is in line. And then another important thing, as we flex our body or come up, you want to keep that alignment of that head and the chin. So you don't want to nod too much your chin and causing tension in your neck. And you also don't want to arch your neck at the back, causing tension here in your back of your neck. So always head and chin in line, and imagine there's like an apple or peach between your chest and your chin. Very important, always try to keep the head and neck in line with your spine, especially when you are on all fours. So you don't want your neck to cause any creases here at the back, but you also don't want to let your head just hang too much. And when you are lying in prone position, you are extending your upper back and extending your neck so that it's in line with your spine. So not tilting that neck too much and also not arching the back of your neck. So always in line with your spine. So there you have it, with 5 basic principles of Pilates. This will help you with your body awareness and also with your alignment while doing your Pilates workout. I really encourage you to first start with beginner Pilates workouts before you start going into more intermediate workouts, just to make sure you understand everything. I will be posting a few beginner workouts on my channel, so I hope this video will really help you. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.